Hey everyone, thank you for being here on a Saturday evening. Hey guys, it's so nice to have known faces and some new people join in for our lives. Hi there. A very big and warm good evening to everyone out there who's participating in our live, and welcome to another one of the Restore Award live series. I'm Dr. Bhavna Gautam. I'm a holistic health consultant, an emotional well-being coach, and a partner with Rachna Restores. So, this is yet another evening where we have a very interesting Restore Award nominee. What do we do in these series? So, for those of you who are new to the entire series, let me tell you that it is through these series and these lives that we introduce to our growing tribe of followers on Facebook and on Instagram our new dynamic nominees, our generous sponsors, and our supportive partners. So, everybody by now should know that the Restore Awards are happening on December 11th, and we hope and wish to see each and every one of you out there. This is the second year of the Restore Awards, and it is very heartwarming to see the kind of participation that we are getting, the kind of support that we are getting from the sponsors and our partners, and it is extremely rewarding to see that what we recognize as generous work, as heartfelt and sensitive work in the field of health, wellness, environment care, community care is also being recognized by so many people out there. So all those who were part of the live yesterday, where Rachna was with Mr. Subrata Das from Organic India, it was so heartwarming to hear him speak about one of the nominees that whose profile he had reviewed, and that's the testimony to the kind of work we are doing behind the scenes and what we intend to bring to all of you on a daily basis. Now, for everybody out there, let me tell you that our deadline is approaching. We are very close to the last date of our nominations being filed. It is the 30th of November. So if you have not yet filed and you believe that you have done some impactful work in the area of health or wellness or environment care or sustainability, or if you know of somebody or an organization who has probably done this work, please log into rachnarestores.com and fill out our nomination forms out there. There is no work big or small. We are not looking at work in terms of the number of people impacted or the outreach. It's genuine work that we want to actually highlight out here. We have an independent jury, and they will be the ones who will be determining the winners of the various categories depending upon the parameters that we set ourselves. So very quickly, before I invite our guest in for the live, let me take you through what are some of the interesting award categories that we have created. So we have the Health Innovator of the Year, which is anyone or an organization which has probably created something innovative, or has, whether it's a process or it's a product, which is impacting wellness in a bigger sense. Then we have the Pioneering Health Social Enterprise, which are social enterprises working exclusively in the field of health and wellness. We have Sustainable Product in the lifestyle category. We have organizations who have sustainability built in their core vision. We have, which is one of our favorite categories always, the Health Warrior Beyond Limits. These are people who have not only overcome their own health challenges, but have in some way or the other inspired people around them, or have impacted people around them also to improve the quality of life that they are leading. Another category that we have is the Healer Beyond Boundaries. These are practitioners or healers or experts of the various wellness fields who go above and beyond the realm of their duties in trying to create a much better world for each one of us. Then we have the interesting category of the healing home chef. These are chefs who combine their unique skills and unique talents of cooking with wellness. So this is something very interesting to watch out for, and this is where our today's guest, this is a category that she's been nominated in. And last but not the least is our very special medical category for all the pandemic support warriors. So these are doctors, these are technicians, these are nurses, these are the support staff who have worked day and night supporting the community through the pandemic that we all faced. Now, today my guest, let me introduce her. She's a nominee in the Healing Home Chef category. She's a digital artist. She is an aspiring Ayurvedic chef. Yes, that's an interesting profile to go through. And a sustainability practitioner and teacher. So guys, join me in welcoming Vaidehi Aditya Nair, the founder of Vango Green. Vaidehi, if you are there, could you send me a very quick message or a request to join in? I'm just going to wait and see if she's there. Yes, looks like I have her online. I have sent her the request, and there she
Hi, Bhavna.
is. Hi, Vaidehi, and a big, big warm Rachna Ristos welcome to you. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm good. I'm doing absolutely perfect.
And I know that you have a very busy schedule, and guys, she has somehow gotten time out during her own personal travel time to actually be part of this life. So thank you so much for that, Vaidehi.
Of course. I mean, it's such a lovely acknowledgement that I have received from Rachnari Stores. I mean, I had to reciprocate, otherwise it would be my loss.
We love you for that. Thank you so much. And we are very excited to have our followers get a quick sneak peek into what Vango Green is about, what Vaidehi does, and what is this interesting category of healing home chef for which she's nominated. So let's start with a very, very quick tour of your journey, Vaidehi. I know, I've read about it, so I know this is not where you started. Why don't you tell us how and when you started your journey of this entire Ayurvedic approach to food?
Okay, so I basically was a very enthusiastic artist. I was studying visual effects when I started my job, and then I moved on to advertising, which I served the industry for close to a decade. And that was a proper corporate job, like an advertising agency or a visual effects production house. And I'm sure everybody out there knows what happens in a corporate atmosphere. You have you have a clock. Yeah, you have a clock in time. You don't have a clock out time.
Clock out.
Anytime you're trying to leave the office, you're like, oh, aaj half day hai kya? Like, so.
Oh my God! I thought that was only happening in and around me. I'm so glad that's a universal joke, by the way.
It is. That is so true. And somehow I think I have lived that life for a decade because I was trying to learn and be a better artist and, create a kind of standing for me in the industry. But it took a huge toll on my health. And I saw a lot of other people around me as well. Like,
I'm sure.
At the age of 32, 33, people are having strokes and getting detected with diabetes and all. It was scary, and I myself had basically had a nightmare, is what I will call it. 4 years of ordeal where I was basically I had acidity and then hyperacidity, and then it turned into stomach ulcers and gastritis. And so I went from doctors to hospitals to gastroenterology specialists to a lot of people, and somehow they didn't have a cure for me because I'm very inquisitive and extremely possessive about everything that belongs to me. The first thing that belongs to me is my body.
Yeah.
So I want to know what are you treating me with and what is my problem and how. So I'm going to do everything. The doctors have scolded me so much that don't Google. Google's not going to teach you, but I do because I'm so
We
curious
all
about
do
things.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
we all do that. And why not? When there's so much
Why not?
information around you, I think
Yes.
it's only reasonable, it's only fair that you equip yourself with as much knowledge, at least
Right.
so that you can take care of yourself. And, yeah, I mean, health in terms of physical strength has always been very important to me because I was
Okay.
born in a family of athletes where I was actually the worst of them all. My father was a trekker. He used to trek in snow mountains. My mother, she used to play for the Jaipur team as a cricketer.
Oh,
My
wow.
brother, he's won national gold in speed skating. So I used to swim, but I did not quite win anything because I was too lethargic and lazy.
I'm
And
sure that's not true anymore.
yeah, it's not anymore. But as a child, no, that's what I wish, that I could just go back in time and tell that child to stop
Yes.
struggling because,
Yes.
obesity is in my genes. And it's like I would gain weight on oxygen. I don't have to do anything and I'll just sit and gain weight. So I've really struggled with obesity and being heavy, overweight, and trying a lot. And the insecurity that you go through
Yes.
as somebody who's young, who's going to college, and who's about to get married. The first thing that you're told is lose weight, like so that you can look good for your wedding. As if I don't already, like. But yeah, that's the scenario which I think everyone can relate to. That's the exact same life
I'm
pattern
sure.
that I've had. But at some point, I said, you know what? I trust these doctors, and I trust that what they are doing the best that they can. But I am not satisfied. I said, I'm
Right.
not satisfied with the answers that I'm getting, with the cure that is being given to me, and I see myself coming back with the same problem for 2 years, 3 years. This is not helping. So it needs to improve. It needs to get better, or at least come in control. That's where I started self-studying a lot. And Ayurveda is something that got basically, I was introduced to it more because of my father-in-law. And
Okay.
after I got married, I think after 2-3 years of my marriage is when this whole gastritis episode happened. And within that time, I had seen the facts because my father-in-law, he's grown in Kerala. He's born and brought up in Kerala. So
Okay.
for them, lifestyle, they have so many habits in their lifestyle which come so naturally and which stems from Ayurveda.
Yes.
Like drinking, warm water infused with herbs. That's what they drink throughout the day, even if it's like the peak of summers. So it's not probably something that people don't understand, but when I spent time with him and I went back to Kerala and I saw that, there's so many traditional things that they still follow. And like grandmothers, they're so strict and about the things कि सर पे hot water नहीं डालना है, and have a bath only after having an oil bath. And also initially it was a little puzzling, but then I understood that probably these are things that are coming from a very old tradition.
Ancient wisdom.
Even if and even if people are not like the generation now that is teaching us, they're not able to give us answers in terms of the reasoning. So I started studying on the reasoning and the understanding of, and I'm a big fan of India as a country and the traditions and the culture and the education, the history, the Vedas, and I'm very proud of everything that is extremely rooted, in this country. And I thought that, let me just understand, okay, certain rituals hum karte hain, like sham ko dahi nahi khana, ye wo. My grandfather used to say that, and we used to just repeat ke muda mogri na dahi sanj pachi nahi. So he used to repeat, and that was something that was there in the subconscious mind just because my grandfather used to say it. But as an adult, I was like, I want to understand why this is, why do people follow this? So a lot of things like sham ko nakhun nahi kaatna, this, that, and also a lot of things have reasonings which you now understand ke ye pehle applicable tha, abhi applicable nahi hai.
Yeah, true.
Right, but then there are certain things when it comes to your biology, when it comes to daily habits and routine, there are so many things that make so much sense. All these, I mean, again, this is something that everybody here already knows, that wo teacher jab school में मुर्गा बनाती थी, तो that posture is supposed to send blood flow to the brain, so it
To the
actually
head.
helps you. Yeah,
Yes.
so it's not to punish you, it's to help you. So, when these things started, when you start questioning and understanding, and you see
Right.
that, okay, there's so much sense and so much science behind so many things that we're just, blindly doing as rituals. And why not have an understanding, do things from the point of
True.
understanding? So that's where Ayurveda happened. And thankfully, I'm not thankful for the pandemic, but I am definitely thankful for the lockdown for sure. Because that experience was so, I don't have to say this, everyone's experienced it. It was
Yes.
so shaking, and it was putting you into a zone where you would never have imagined that, you're
And
focusing
you
on
wouldn't have,
things you
yeah,
have.
you wouldn't even have tried to be there if you were not pushed like that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who are very proud of eating fast food. But now,
Yeah.
after the whole lockdown scenario, they're like, nahi, ghar ka khana acha hai. Because वो 2 साल तक they were forced to eat घर का खाना. So now they've started liking. So I think it was amazing for us as a society, because everybody is talking about health and wellness right now, which should be the talk, which should be the
Yes.
priority in everybody's life. And again, the way I've been brought up, I'm a fiercely independent person. Even as a child, when I turned 4 years old, my parents had taught me खुद से दूध पीना है, खुद से खाना खाना है, खुद से uniform पहनना है, because now we have your little brothers born, so now you have to take care of yourself. So now we have another project on hand.
Plus, they were busy parents,
way,
right? I mean, they had their own really hectic lifestyles to look after.
Correct. So they would definitely teach, but then they would say, now, function on your own. If you have a problem, come back to us, but try to function on your own. So that's where the whole independent mindset came from, and that's why I was like, theek hai, I trust the doctors and all, but I would like to educate myself and see if there's something that I can do to improve, my health. And it worked. All of the knowledge, just the study, I will not say that I don't understand things like a diet chart and a diet plan. I don't know how that works. I am not in that zone, but I understand the fact that a perspective shift is what is needed for everybody. A mindset, to develop a mindset is more necessary than following a diet plan that has just been given to you. To understand and create your own perspective of why I should eat this and when I should eat this and why not. Like, just to have that understanding. So you're not dependent on an expert every time. You'd rather spend your time, energy, and money on learning more about your body. I mean, when we say even buy a mixer grinder from the market, it comes with a manual, and we study it and we make sure we maintain it. So your body has been gifted to us by nature, and it's such a beautiful body, the complexity of a human life, and how we are thriving and living without batteries and whatever, so the least we can do is
asking of us, I think, is total awareness. That's the only thing we are not committing to.
True, very true. Yeah, very true. And it's like, I've seen a lot of people who would be like, oh, let me just make all the mistakes I can, and then I'll just go get treated by a doctor. So again, that perspective needs to change. These people, no matter how many diet plans you give them, they'll just follow it to the T, and then they'll forget about it. So unless that perspective shift happens, unless that the thought process changes and you become more mindful towards your own self, I will say that I have always been a very self-centered person. For me, it's always me first. How they say in flights that, you wear your oxygen mask first before assisting anyone else. Because unless you are standing firm on your own 2 feet, can you be helpful to anybody else? So, the whole concept of like mothers we've seen, they will feed the family and then last may they leave. Why? You feed yourself first and then feed the family. Like,
family will take care. Yes.
No, so that you're strong enough and your stomach is full, so you can lovingly feed everyone. No?
Yeah.
Otherwise, by the end of it, you'll get angry.
That's important, lovingly. Yes. I was just going to say that you lovingly feed.
Otherwise, you get angry by the end of it. Like, get done already. I need to eat. Like, so.
True.
Just that. It's just self-love again is something that is not selfish. It is something that you're doing for yourself and for everybody. When we learn yoga, when we learn Ayurveda, there is, they teach us ahimsa. Okay,
Yes.
ahimsa. You have to live a life of non-violence.
Non-violence.
Now,
Yes.
violence is not just something that you do to others. Violence is also something that you do to yourself by ignoring your
So
body,
important. Yes.
ignoring your mind, and or punishing yourself by not eating on time, not sleeping on time. Even if it is just Netflix binge watching, which is not allowing you to sleep on time, I think that's
Yes.
violence to your dear body.
It is. It is.
So
That's a very interesting perspective, actually. If only we looked at it that way. Yeah.
that's so true. It's not like you don't have to binge. I also binge, but I do it in the afternoon. Rather than sleeping, I prefer to lie down and just say watch something. So you do everything that you do.
Yes.
Like you don't have to सब कुछ त्याग के योगी नहीं बनना है. But have a balance where you're prioritizing your health.
Yes.
Because if everybody wants to earn money, everyone wants to be successful, everyone wants to do things, and the only way you can do it is if your body, this vessel, kind of cooperates with you. And the only way it will cooperate with you if you love it. It's just like having a partner or a spouse. I mean,
And
you
I
love
think
it, it will love you back.
Yeah, that's a lesson most people learn very late. So once the body is broken down, we understand the value of it. Till then, everything else is very important, Others, my relationships, and my, my car, my designation, my job, everything is very important. The day your health goes down, you realize how that was the most important thing in this entire spectrum.
Important thing.
Yeah.
That is so true. And I did have that episode in my life where I was living a life where I was eating vada pav for lunch and not eating on time, skipping my lunch most of the time. Kyunki presentation hai, ye, wo, I get them, that's more important. But thankfully, I was 30.
Yes, you're back.
Hi. So I was around 29, 30 when that was happening to me, and I decided to take a solo trip for a week. I was like, Mera birthday, I want to spend with myself and introspect.
Right.
So I went to Rishikesh. I spent a week there. I met a lot of interesting people. I did a lot of workshops and, indulging in a lot of spiritual, basically experiences.
Yes.
Sitting by the Ganges all by myself, understanding that, okay, 30 is a milestone now. Okay. What have I done so far in my life and what do I want to do ahead? How do I want, this image of mine in my own eyes? Like, what is it that I want to create? So that's where I think it started, that the first thing I need to do is get my health. I'm not saying in my control, there's nothing in your control. Your body is just like nature. It's, it will function the way it's meant to be, but at least not fall prey to certain things that you can avoid, like,
True.
Everyday issues and small illnesses. Like I will call diabetes also a very small illness, because
it's a
you as a
lifestyle
doctor,
disorder.
of
Yeah,
course.
I mean, it's dependent upon
correct.
lifestyle. So, yeah.
True, very true. And the courses that I did in terms of, I did a course on yoga, I did a course on Ayurvedic nutrition, and I saw there were fellow participants who have literally in the time period of say 6 months, 8 months, they've reversed their diabetes or reduced. Or
I'm sure.
So when I saw that, I was like, this is magical. I mean, everybody should know about this. Like, so
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'll be popping medicines for the rest of their life, believing
Rest
that
of their life.
hai, this is how.
Yeah. And it's like, you douse one fire to only go face another one, right? So you take those medications for rest of your life, and then there's some other complication that comes in because of it, and then you douse that fire. So this is an ongoing war for the rest of your life if you don't go to the core like we talked about.
True. Yeah. Like I'll tell you a very personal example. Also some challenges that I face. Something that happened to me today in the morning only, so it's fresh. My mom is here. My dad was also here. So my mother had a spasm in her back. So she's like literally stuck in one pose, like, So the immediate response is painkiller khao. And I think because she's had a surgery before, the last time that she had the same muscular tension, she was given a injection. Maybe probably that was also
Right.
a painkilling injection. So today she was like painkiller, pain. So I'm like, listen, relax. Like, you can have painkiller if what I say doesn't help you.
Work.
So
Yeah.
there is, Kotakalka Muruvenna pain relief oil. So he said, let's do a nice massage and
Yes.
put haldi ka lep, haldi namak ka lep, and so and some heat compression and all. And I'm like, I'll do this for you every 2 hours if you want, but just don't pop that painkiller. So simple things
Yeah.
like that, and still because the mind is so set on the fact कि नहीं मुझे तो उससे ही relief मिलेगा.
उसी से relief आएगा. Yes.
And then again, you've made your body so used to chemicals that
Yes.
these lighter versions or milder versions of therapy don't really affect, and of course they don't have an immediate effect. You have to be a
Of
little
course.
patient with it. So
Yeah, so that's where we differentiate that, there are certain emergency cares, and then there are certain, areas where, of course, the holistic approach may not work. It requires emergency care, it requires those medications, it requires those doctors to step in. But then there's a large part which is lifestyle related, which is easily manageable and reversible through holistic management.
True. So I've literally used my family as guinea pigs, all the study that I'm doing.
I'm sure they'll be very
I'm
glad.
like catching hold of my brother. I'm like, tu pitta body hai. My father, your kapha body, your vata body. So
Now let me start.
So yeah, because of course, like if I'm educating myself, firstly, of course, heal my body, which I did over the period of 2 years. It's
Yes.
magically my gastritis has disappeared. No acidity even, like which used to be a regular thing. I've anyways never been somebody who likes to even take a Eno for that matter. I will not even do that. I would rather have jeera pani than so. I guess that is why maybe my condition got aggravated, because I did not take medication at that point in time. But I also did not do anything about it, which I am, in terms of my digestion, in terms of my sleep cycle and everything, and my mental health and, regular meditation. Now, again, for me to, I mean, you can understand this, but people will take a little bit of understanding to come to this conclusion. But I have improved certain relationships in my personal life, which has actually helped me get over my acidity. That the relationship at the back of your mind.
Perfectly put. Yes, I completely agree with that. And as an emotional well-being coach, I think at the core of most disorders or these imbalances lies those unresolved or challenged or conflicts which you have been either ignoring or you just do not know how to get past. And I'm so glad that somebody is actually talking about, health, wellness, and the emotional part of it. This resonates so much with the kind of work we do at Rachna Restores. I mean, the kind of team and the philosophy that we have. This is exactly what we profess.
Because this is exactly what Ayurveda teaches. Ayurveda teaches you Panchakosh, which is your intellectual health, spiritual health, emotional health, physical health. All of this put together makes a well-being. Khali physical health, you will say, oh, this person is a marathoner and an athlete, but maybe if the mental health is not in place, tomorrow he'll still have a stroke or some.
Of course.
So then you'll be like, how is this possible? So fit, but the fitness cannot be defined with just what you see. It's also a lot more than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because our body and its functions are all interconnected, and what gets reflected outside is in a huge way related to what's happening inside. So if it's disease which is getting reflected outside, is because something has gone wrong internally. I mean, no organ functions independently with us.
That's so true. Very true. And that's what you understand. Like, I feel like we've all studied biology in school, but nobody really paid attention. We really need to
unless you wanted to be a doctor,
correct. Yeah. Why just a doctor? I'm not saying that, in terms of the depth and technical aspects of illness and cure and surgery, I mean, that is beyond. But simple things like blood circulation.
Yes.
Nervous system. ये तो हमें पढ़ाया था, but it's just that we didn't pay attention. We were only looking at passing marks. Let's just unless you want to pursue the medical field, you're not interested in the fact that I also have a body. I also need to understand how it functions and how to maintain it. So that perspective is not taught to the child.
I also have only a body. I mean, I will not be able to replace it. I think
That is so
that
true.
yeah, that the bigness of this idea that there's only one body and there is no way you're going to be able to replenish it if you don't take care of it. Yeah, I think nobody really taught us from that approach while we were in school.
That's so true. Like, so, I mean, that's what I intend to do is work with children because anyways, I love working with children. I love
Yes.
the way that they are excited about knowledge and especially if, they understand that there is something that is going to be good. And the kids really love their bodies.
Yeah.
Children, they are so honest. They will say, "मुझे भूख लगी है, अभी खाना चाहिए," like, so that
Yeah, and a
innocence
no
needs to
means no.
stay.
They will not take an extra bite if they are done.
So true, so true.
Yeah.
So there's so much that we can learn from children, and there's so much
Yes.
that the children can be, guided in the right direction by just including a little bit of yoga, meditation, and understanding about their daily ahar, their daily diet,
Yes.
and a little perspective on wellness. That it is
Yeah.
really important. And now we're teaching children about good touch, bad touch. We should also teach them about in terms of the vibe and talking about
Energies and yes. Yes.
the energies and if you don't like somebody, even it doesn't have to be physical, it can also be verbal, that you
Yeah.
can be very open and say
Sense
that okay,
it.
this is
Yes.
the kind of
Yes.
energy that is not going down well with me, or this is the kind of energy
Yeah.
that is, I really appreciate it, inspires me, it motivates me, but there is something that is kind of emotionally or intellectually draining me. That perspective
Yeah,
needs to be
that whole
taught.
connection with your instincts and your gut, and that we talk about, it comes from my gut or I have a gut feeling, but we are never really trained to enhance that gut feeling while we are growing up. I so relate to this bit. For everybody
Sure.
who's just joining in, I'm in conversation with Vaidehi Aditya Nair from Vango Green, and we are talking about what she does and the impactful work. I can see some lovely comments coming up saying, I so relate with this journey, because whether it was your, you mentioned about your fight with obesity as a child, or whether you're talking about the corporate life, I'm sure this is touching stories of so many people out there. I mean, me included. I have been through each one of that phase. And it's interesting. What is interesting to note is the way you took charge of it. So tell me, whether, by the way, guys, a very, very interesting note to put in here, whether he, although I think a complete city born and bred girl, right,
Yeah.
is currently living in a very remote, a village. Would I call it a village, or a
Yeah,
small
it's a
town?
village.
Yeah, it's a village. So
Yeah, it's a
she has
village. It's not.
consciously,
Yeah.
she's consciously taken the decision to go and have a life created in a village. So tell me, whether what were the challenges of this sudden, or like I said, it's a 180-degree shift in lifestyle,
Yeah.
in so many other things. How did this happen and how did you manage it?
Oh, it's not a 180, it's a 360-degree shift. Like it's like taking a somersault inside water and a lot
Yeah.
of water goes in your nose and you're like, what happened? Like, so yeah, I'm very instinctive that way. And
Yeah.
recently after I thank my Ayurvedic journey so much because
Yes.
lockdown happened and I wanted to study. There was a point that had come where I was like, I'm saturated with the knowledge I have. I want to study more. And now at this point in time, because I've been self-studying Ayurveda so much, I want to, study
Yeah.
Ayurveda in detail properly. And of course, when it came to Ayurveda, there was a lot of, we're talking about herbs, we're talking about organic food and all. So of course, I always loved maintaining plants.
Right.
Loved having plants around me. But then I started growing, experimenting with growing food.
Right.
And that's where my interest in organic food and permaculture and, basically the whole farming and growing food aspect, because it's a cycle. It's a spiritual cycle of me sowing a seed, taking care of that plant, and that plant then giving its pranas to me and me being grateful
Yeah.
to that plant. So it's a cycle, and so Ayurveda, when you study it, you automatically start becoming very sensitive to your environment. I was always an
Right.
animal lover, but that feeling was enhanced because Ayurveda meditation, regular meditation, it opened up very different, ideas and thought
Yes.
processes within me. And yeah, that's where I became very instinctive, and not just that, I started trusting my instincts a lot.
Yeah.
And it was all, there comes a time in your life when you're like, "Acha, chalo, abhi khud ka ghar kharidna hai." So,
Yes.
but I hated the fact that I don't want to get back to a job. I've just quit a job because I was unhealthy, and
And
I started
unhappy and
freelancing.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm freelancing. I'm happy with whatever I'm earning, and
Yes.
I'm just able to manage my lifestyle. And now I have a routine. I don't want to get back to a job just because I need to buy a house and
Yeah.
pay EMI. So, me and my husband, we discussed and spoke a lot and understood that, what, instead of spending so much money to buy a house in the city,
Yeah.
which will never be enough. No matter how much money you spend, you will not get enough space that you would want. So
True.
let's move out. Let's move out to the outskirts where we can purchase a piece of land and create from scratch. Rather than because I'm also somebody who loves living in solitude. I'm absolutely okay
Yeah.
living in my own little cocoon. So I'm not somebody who needs
The
a
rush of
lot
the
of social
city.
life.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
the right kind of people around me, the right kind of network around me, and these are also people who enjoy their own personal space, and we connect only when needed. So
True.
it's not like every day I need to see friends or every day I need to socialize. I'm okay with living in a space where I don't have constant interaction with a lot of people around me. So yeah, I basically was looking for land, and the meanwhile, I'm like, till this happens, I cannot wait to execute my program. So I'd already started Van Gogh Green as a handle,
Right.
and I was basically promoting a lot of workshops. Because again, these are workshops that I wanted to attend and learn skill sets that I would like to have, but nothing was happening in Navi Mumbai. Everything was happening in Bombay, Bandra, that side.
True.
So I'm like, okay, let me just organize workshops for myself so that I can
Yeah.
get to attend. A lot of other people can get to attend. So that's where I started Van Gogh Green work as workshops, workshops on eco-friendly art and a lot of eco-friendly lifestyle. So I didn't know what I
Right.
was doing at that time, but I was like, I don't want. I'd like to keep things natural as
Yeah.
much as possible. So I didn't. Baad mein I understood all this whole sustainability and zero waste
Yes.
lifestyle and all that. But at that time, it was just eco-friendly. Like, let's just keep everything eco-friendly. So make herbal soaps and homemade cosmetics that are chemical free. And so that's where it started from. And
Yeah.
then because I started adapting a lot of sustainable methods of living, I also started talking about it, and a lot of people asked me a lot of questions, and then it came to a point where I was like, okay, let me hold a workshop on this as well. So that's where
Right.
Van Gogh Green started from, and I thought that this was a good platform to not just teach people art, but also teach in terms of sustainable life hacks, because again this also
Yes.
helps you with your mental health. The whole, like, I felt really really happy and extremely proud.
Yeah.
For almost 8 months there was no waste going, like the garbage truck would go disappointed from my house every single day.
Okay.
And like it's very actually funny, because then these guys want to come and ask for Diwali and all Holi and all, but I don't give them any waste, so they're not providing service to
They
me,
don't
so
know what
they're
to. Yeah.
they're wondering whether should we go to
Whether
her
they
or
should.
not, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, but and even the rag pickers who come for plastic and all, so I started educating them also that I would love to give you plastic, but the problem is that you take anything and everything, and a lot of that gets rejected from the
Right.
recyclers because it's not
It's
properly
not the
washed,
right.
maintained,
Yeah.
packed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, if you will do this, we are anyways doing the recycling project. If you want to, you can also like, and somehow we're still working on the fact that as a community, we started recycling plastic back
Right.
in Belapur, Mumbai. But we are trying to include the rat pickers in that, because a lot of people had that conflict. Ki, "Arey, rat pickers, you are like, cutting out their livelihood and whatever." So I understand that's fair. So we're trying to
Yeah.
infuse that somehow and get them to do a lot of the work, because most of us are working professionals, so a lot of us don't have time to volunteer on ground.
Right.
But yeah, trying to be inclusive in terms of what I do, and if anyone's curious, I would love to talk a lot about the subject. And अगर किसी को सीखना है, definitely please learn and please adapt. This will make you very happy. It will make you healthy. It will help you heal. You know, this just knowing that I'm not washing my hair with shampoo, so I'm not putting down any chemicals in the drain. My lakes are clean, my rivers are clean because of me. You know,
Yes.
that really helps you get a good night's sleep, which again
I
results
I
into
can see that so much of your work is quite a natural progression of, one step leading to
yeah.
the other, right? It just I think you just flowed with whatever came as the next natural way of it. It's so interesting to hear that.
It is very interesting for me also. This whole
Yeah,
journey of understanding my own value system, and that
yeah,
if I don't function within this value system, there will always be a disturbance within my mind and body. So I
true.
have to understand that I am this person. It's like understanding your purpose as a soul. Again, that book Ikigai will help you
Ikigai,
understand
yes,
that every
yes.
soul comes with a purpose, and if
Purpose.
you come a little close to understanding what your purpose is,
Yeah.
it'll help you heal and become a source of healing for other people as well. Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think with the Restore Awards, this is exactly what we wanted to bring to the fore. In fact, now I realize while we are talking that although this year we have selected you or as a nominee for Healing Home Chef, I think by next year you would have probably branched out into something bigger, and you would be part of another category
hopefully.
with us. And yeah, I'm quite sure of that. And our juries, which are our independent jury, which is from across the industry, very, very big names and esteemed names like Sunita Mohanty, Dr. Taruna Madan, Mr. Subrata Datta, Mr. Najeeb Arif, Ms. Hiru Mirchandani, Ms. Ratan Jalan. I really am very curious about what their experience is going to be once we give them, profiles like yours, and ask them to now choose. I am not going to be envious of their position because they're going to have a very, very tough job ahead of them. This is really interesting to talk, guys. I'm talking to Miss Vedahi Aditya Narayan from Nair from Bango Green. Vedahi, before we wrap up, very, very quickly for all our audiences, because I see so many questions coming up. What did you study, Vedahi? And I'm also facing the same problem. And how do I start? And where do I start? Very quickly, if you could give our audiences about, say, 3 or 4 practices that they can start right now from today, irrespective of where they are living, whether it's the outskirts, whether it's the main city, whatever work they are doing, just
Yeah.
simple, basic sustainability practices that they can start with.
I think sustainability again starts from a perspective shift.
Yeah,
Everything starts from a perspective shift, and being more mindful, living and acting more mindfully throughout your day.
yeah,
I think that is one thing that is very important to understand that if I am throwing out garbage from my house, just having that little curiosity and question of where does it go. It's
yeah.
not just कि घर के बाहर कचरा निकाल दिया मेरा काम हो
So
गया,
I'm
like
done. Yes,
let's be more mindful of what happens to it afterwards. So
yeah,
be more mindful of before throwing and disposing anything. Okay, try to
right,
give it 2 to 3 thoughts of, can I use it here, can I use it there, can I give it to somebody.
right.
Be more mindful before you dispose anything. Be a little
Okay.
stingy before you throw things.
Throwing things
That is
away.
one
Yeah.
thing. The second thing is be a more mindful shopper.
Okay.
Think before you would like to shop, and also when you shop, think of what will happen after or to that after you're done using it. So,
Right. Right.
say if I'm buying grains, I need to buy grains, but can I buy grains in a non-plastic packaging? So I don't have to handle
True.
that plastic waste afterwards, you know. Can I
Yes.
buy loose or brown paper bag? Or there are so many amazing brands out there who are coming with plastic-free packaging. So let's shift our focus to that so that everybody else also understands that, okay, this is what people want, and everyone will
Right.
shift, to plastic-free packaging. So being mindful of disposal, mindful of shopping, and I'd actually written these down. Yeah, plan your stuff, plan your
Yeah.
life, like your meals. you're say buying vegetables. Like if you know that I only need half kg tomatoes for the week, let's just buy that much. Like let's not
Right.
buy a lot, create waste
Wait.
just because we think कि अरे shortage हो जाएगा. It's okay, be content. एक दिन एक
Yes.
टमाटर कम हुआ, let's adjust with something else. Like,
Yes.
let's not
Yes.
be that person who needs to have everything at every point in time. So, yeah, being more content, that would be the fourth point with what you already have,
And
even with clothes.
yes.
There is nothing shameful about repairing your chappal once it's broken, like, or, stitching it up or
Or
patching up your
repeating the
jeans.
clothes that you've worn to your, your parties and your gatherings.
Absolutely. If
Yeah.
your t-shirt is faded, so I do these workshops on tie and dye techniques and dyeing with natural colors. So
Yes.
dye it as many times. Like if the fabric is intact, you can just have a new t-shirt every time without having to
True.
buy a new one. So think of more being more mindful in terms of the fact that again things like materialistic things that we accumulate come from some kind of insecurity
Yes.
in your mind, something that you're trying to prove to other people. Be more okay with the fact that my clothes don't define me, my possessions don't define me, my knowledge and my behavior towards other people, that is what defines me. So to have that
So true.
understanding, because that
So
is
true.
the ultimate truth, but it's a lot of
Yeah.
people will disagree still because they've not come to that stage of understanding that perspective. So like
So,
I
you
always
know what? You pointed out something very important. If you find yourself in this urge of trying to prove yourself to others or trying to put out an image out there, I think we should use that as an indicator of something being wrong within, right? I think that would be a great space to start from, saying, why am I trying to do this? What is that gap that I'm trying to fill? And that's where the entire journey goes inwards rather than outwards.
True. And the younger generation right now, the way we are shopping online, I think it's absolutely unnecessary. The fifth point being that create more and reduce shopping, reduce buying things, try to
Consumption.
create.
Yes.
And if you don't have the time, it's okay. Everybody doesn't have the time to create. There is somebody in your neighborhood that is creating
Who's doing
things.
it? Yes.
Support that person and get the benefit for yourself. Going local in terms of not buying things online or on Amazon. Just look around you. There's so many people creating so many beautiful things that you can actually
I'm sure.
use.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
so yeah, I mean,
I
and
mean,
being more
these are such,
inclusive,
yes.
being more inclusive as a community. पहले ऐसा होता था कि फैमिली में ओनली बड़े बच्चों के कपड़े आर गेटिंग पास्ड डाउन टू जनरेशन, छोटे बच्चे. बट इवन इफ योर फ्रेंड का बच्चा इज गिविंग यू कपड़े एंड baby products and things,
Be
take
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
okay with that. Yeah.
Be okay with
Even
that.
if your
Yeah.
neighbor or anyone, just create communities where you can just exchange things
Same.
and be okay with that, because I mean, there is nothing wrong in it. If you want, wash that cloth 10 times
Yeah.
before you wear it.
Yeah.
But the cloth deserves a little more than, going into the
Just a
dustbin or the
one-time. Yeah.
landfills.
Yeah. So true. So true. And I believe that since with your work with the younger lot, we can get them to imbibe this entire community culture much
Yeah.
faster and in a much more stronger format than probably we could, because ours was a generation that went through this entire globalization and the big bubble burst. But they will probably value that it's okay to come back to local again. It's okay to create
True, very
stronger
true.
local communities. So wonderful tips, and I think so much of it is so commonsensical. It's
Yeah.
not something which is
Yeah.
impossible or you have to go out of your way to do. Whether you talked about the shopping
True.
bit, whether that mindful consumption, whether it's about planning things, I think all of it is doable. We just don't give it that kind of time. We believe we don't have the time to.
Yeah.
It was
Like,
so
I
wonderful
understand.
talking to you. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand composting is something not easy for
Yeah.
everyone. Okay, home composting, that's next level. But the
Yeah,
only one thing that
exactly.
you can do is reduce your wastage
Wait.
as much as
Yeah.
possible. Be more mindful. Like I use these soap nuts. I've stopped using laundry detergent, so soap nuts wrapped in a sock goes in
In a
and
sock, yeah.
drop. So I cannot expect everyone to do that, because
Yeah.
again, you'll have that hygiene issues, and because you're not used to it. That is also one reason where I've created this space where it's a
Yes.
learning center where people will come live with me and live this 24/7 lifestyle of sustainable, habits,
And
and
see
see
that
how
it is
it is,
possible. Yeah. Yeah.
and take back those habits, rather than trying them
Exactly.
fresh in your own house and being confused and then letting it go.
Giving
Come
it
here,
up. Yeah.
understand, learn, ask as many questions as you want. And even in terms of teaching children how to be mindful, I
Yes.
have a volunteer program where you can come and work in the farm. So you sweat it out like a farmer, you understand the value of growing food, so that you go back home and say, I'm not going to waste food because this is how much
Takes so
effort it
much
takes. And
effort.
yeah, I put those efforts. I know what it feels like to, work like a farmer. So these are certain things that I'm creating a platform for people to come, learn, experience, explore, and understand the values in person, than me
Yes.
just saying things on Instagram
As a
and people.
gyan. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
True.
that's, yeah.
So, guys, a lot of people who are asking, her handle is at Vango Green. Please go check it out. She puts up her workshops and the work that she does and those little tidbits of knowledge. And plus, I believe you have a YouTube channel where you put out those Ayurvedic recipes, right? So, guys, go check
Yeah,
out,
true.
where the he's handle. You'll find so much of interesting and appealing stuff out there, and you can get in touch with. She spoke about the workshop. Some people were asking right now, I can see. So you can talk to her and find out her upcoming workshops. Whether it was a genuine pleasure talking to you, and I'm so glad we could organize this after all the back and
Thank
forth
you
that
so
happened.
much.
It was just wonderful knowing about your work. And before we end our live, I would like to give a big shout out to our fabulous sponsors and partners who are supporting us and making this entire event possible on December 11th. I would like to thank Savlon India. I would like to thank Piyama, Dermapeak. I would like to thank Organic India, Radio City, Himalayan Waters, and of course ITC Maratha, which is our venue partner. So, we look forward to having you there on the day of the awards, and best wishes from the Rachna Restores family.
Thank you so much. Thank you for acknowledging me. Thank you for motivating me, encouraging me, and uh, I'm really hoping that I can get to work a little more with Rachna, because I'm a big fan of her. I follow her work, and I'm really
Oh,
hoping
lovely.
to work along
Yes.
and learn more from her.
Yes, I forgot to mention SRL Diagnostics, another one of our partners. And in fact, we do a lot more work, not just with the award. So a big shout out to SRL too. And good luck, Vedahi, with your journey. And we look forward to connecting with you on the 11th, and best wishes to you.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. It was a pleasure talking to
Yeah,
you.
take care.
Thank you.
Bye.